Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the 19th hole. We are live on In Between Media. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the whole damn channel, and jingle that bell for notifications. Make sure you check out the website, In Between Media. We got golf content, we got racing content, we got lifestyle content, we got content coming out our ears. It's the best place for sports, lifestyle, everything in between. We have reached the Players Championship at famous TPC Sawgrass in Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, in the Jacksonville area. Duval, great golf course. Pete Dye, he's got the mind tricks going. They replanted that famous god awful tree on the 6 tee box. The Players are gonna hate it. We're gonna hate the Players for hating the game. The Players Championship. We're going to recap our gigantic win at the Puerto Rico Open, biggest in a long time, and, of course, the Arnold Palmer Invitational. But first, we got to hit that drop, baby. Cheers to all of us. My first sip of alcohol since New Year's Eve. And even then, I only took a sip of champagne. Conor, 2 shows in a row, muted at the beginning. Great job, buddy.
I was clearing my throat. I said, oddly enough, I think I like you better on booze than I do on coffee. So,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I probably like myself better on booze than coffee. Chelsea Pulford in the house. Hello. Oh dear. Doubtfire, dear.
Do you spy what I spy? Royal Slade. It's been a minute.
Wave the Canadian flag. He's in touch with me. Maybe he just doesn't like you.
No, I don't win him enough money, apparently.
Well, that's about to change because we're celebrating. We got the first alcohol in months for both of us, really. We're celebrating with, I think both of us have the same bourbon. Yours is a store pick Woodford Double Oaked. Mine is a straight off the Costco rack Woodford Double Oak. We're drinking good. It's so good. It's so good when it touches your lips.
We're gonna see how this goes because you and I have not done a show inebriated yet this year, so that'll be fun.
I don't think I'm going to be able to get inebriated in an hour. Do you think I could?
I mean,
should I shoot for it?
We have. We definitely have.
Yeah, I know we have. You don't have to go very back very far to the genesis of this show to find that this was a drinking show with a golfing problem.
I mean, challenge accepted, dude. We'll see how this goes.
Hey, but we got to tip it back because we kicked ass last week. We all but guaranteed that a guy would win a tournament, and that dude did. We'll cover that in the news, Niblick. But I mean, how is this what success feels like? Ooh, peanut butter girls
double oak kind of night.
No, I got to know, Brad, is it the tagalongs or the peanut butter patties? Because I'm good with both. I'm a peanut butter fanatic. And if you say both, you get bonus points for double oaked with anything peanut butter. Separately, together, we're talking magic, Brad Palmer. You, sir, are a gentleman and a scholar. Cheers to you.
We got a lot of Sioux Falls representation in the chat tonight. That's awesome. And you may recall
another South Dakotan. Oh, tagalongs. Yeah, those are my favorite.
You may recall Brad Palmer from I believe it was season 2, season 3. Brad came on, made a couple drinks.
Yes. All right. Yeah, I remember now. Okay, another South Dakotan.
Yes, sir.
All right. Shout out to South Dakota. Chelsea in the house. Royals just a little bit north of you up in Canada. Shout out to our Canadian loony fans. They are loony, as all get up. We got Tim Burke up there. He's just waiting for the hat. Everybody knows that. We're drinking Woodford Double Oaked because we're celebrating. Let's jump right into it and do the. We got to do the news Niblick first, right?
Yeah. No, that's our new segment. How'd you forget? Unbelievable, really.
I'm terrible. Well, it was an eventful week in the world of golf, especially for the co-hosts of the 19th hole. That's us. Starting off with Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill. Ho-hum, Russell Henley. We were a week too early on Russell Henley. We thought he'd do great at Cognizant. He was okay at Cognizant. He kind of parlayed well into Bay Hill. I didn't think he had the off the tee chops to win at Bay Hill, but I guess I was wrong because Henley iron play, short game, he's got that in the bag in spades. We're talking top 30 golfer in the world from second shot in. His off the tee work has been a little squirrely, but he's riding on hot hand, especially on Florida golf courses. Bermuda specialist. I mean, we should have seen this coming, right? Ho hum, very reserved. You're probably not going to recognize him in public if you see Russell Henley. But he is a damn good golfer, and he had a damn good week chasing down who a lot of people thought would win at the last minute. Collin Morikawa, who's everything in the bag except for the flat stick, and he very nearly put it away on Saturday, and then he just couldn't find the birdies in the spots he needed on Sunday. And Henley, of course, chips in for eagle on the par 5 16th to leapfrog our guy Collin Morikawa with a 2-shot swing. Collin parred the 16th, which is brutal because that hole is one of the easiest on the golf course at Bay Hill. So 2-shot swing, flip flop, Henley wins. Great win for Russell Henley. This guy's every year he's good for 1 or 2 wins. It's usually on Bermuda, and it's usually on a golf course that demands good iron play and really good putting stroke. He just had enough to win. Morikawa did everything right except for didn't make enough birdies down the stretch.
Yeah, well, and I wasn't as sold on Morikawa as you were, and it was the short game that I was afraid of, and it kind of was his undoing. It was no surprise there. I think what is more surprising potentially is that, like, speaking of ho-hum, I mean, old Russell Henley had a pretty ho-hum week on approach. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy where he did
he made every putt that I watched on TV.
Every putt, and if he was anywhere near the green, he was getting up and down like no problem. And
on 16, he was going to chip it in. Yeah, short-sighted, poor approach shot, by the way. Like to be short-sighted on the 16th hole with a eagle chip, it was no guarantee he was going to get that up and down for a birdie because of how little green he had to work with. The greens are running at a 14 on the stimp, which is about as fast as you're going to get on the PGA Tour. And he jarred it. Good thing the hole got in the way because that thing would have been 15 feet past.
Yeah, I mean, that's so indicative of what we said was going to be important, right? It was around the green. It was the up and down game. It was the putting was going to have to be steadfast. You're going to have to be.
He made everything.
Yeah, and that was the differentiator. I mean, he gained close to 4 strokes putting last week. He gained almost 7 strokes around the green. It's just insane. So,
that's his game. That's his game. If he could get off the tee at Bay Hill, he got off the tee decent. His approach game was decent, and the guy puts the ball in the hole and more in fewer strokes than everybody else. That's how you win.
What?
And I didn't put this in the news because I just found out. But Tiger Woods tore his Achilles when he was trying to bounce back and recover and play some tournaments this year. So he will not be at Augusta or anything this year because of a ruptured Achilles. I don't know that it'll take him that much time to get back because we just saw Bernhard Langer come back from the same injury, and he's 20 years older than Tiger. So I think we got the Bernhard Langer model. Then he'll be okay in a year or so. But another setback for the big cat. We want to see him play golf at whatever level, TGL. I don't care. The more time we get to see Sunday Red in the flesh, the better. So do you have any words for Tiger Woods? Get well soon.
Yeah, since I'm sure he's listening, get well soon, Tiger. We miss you. But no, I don't know. So I'm with you. I kind of
Your hat can't putt.
Unbelievable. I caught wind of it late in the day, so like I don't know. Is it the same leg he's been having problems with? Is it the other leg?
It's his left leg.
Okay.
His right leg is the one that was shattered. Left leg is the one he ruptured the Achilles on.
So I mean, yeah, he might be able to bounce back quick. I mean, here's hoping. I would love to see Tiger play some more competitive golf.
Yeah, for sure. And just in time, at 50 years old, he's going to be eligible for the Champions Tour soon. Who knows? We might.
They can't let him play. I mean, even half-baked Tiger is still going to just mop the floor.
But handicapped Tiger might give him a chance. All right.
Well, literal sense of handicap.
Let's see here. What else do we have? Oh, yeah. The Puerto Rico Open. We last week went on a 1 minute, 25-second dialogue about the tournament that really nobody else was even paying attention to because of the Arnold Palmer. The Puerto Rico Open was kind of your watershed tournament for all the guys who didn't qualify for the Arnold Palmer. And we had a few names that we threw out there, but there was one name that we were unanimous on, and we basically told you that it was a foregone conclusion that the guy in his fourth career start, the Australian, born in Indonesia, went to Stanford, shout out NorCal, he was going to win the Puerto Rico Open. And at 65-1, some people got him at 80-1 on some books. I instructed Steve, our loyal listener that was on the ground at Bay Hill. I told him to go to the sports book and bet the outright, bet the top 5, bet the top 10, bet the top 20. And Steve did. So kudos to Steve. Big winner. I'm a big winner. I did the latter. Conor, did you put any skin in the game and win the Karl Vilips, the koala Karl is what he calls himself?
Of course. Yeah. We haven't been more sure of anything, I think, probably ever.
In the history of the show, we have never outright just guaranteed that, especially guaranteed that a 65-1 bet at an overflow PGA Tour tournament was going to absolutely win the tournament. We've never even gone that far to predict that. But the first time we did, Karl Vilips from Australia, by way of Indonesia, through Stanford, shout out NorCal, wins his first PGA Tour event in his fourth PGA Tour start.
Did you hear about Tiger calling him and texted him, and he didn't have the number saved, so he just skipped right over it? I thought that was hilarious.
He listened to the voicemail when he found out it was Tiger's voice. I would shit myself. But it's like, Karl, you're sponsored by Tiger Woods' company, his apparel company. You went to the same alma mater as Tiger Woods. Why didn't you have this dude already in your phone saved? Come on, Karl.
Seriously, what an amateur.
23-year-olds. What are you going to teach him? You can't.
Trying to add him on Snapchat and shit.
But yeah, quality win from the koala Karl Vilips in Puerto Rico. Huge money-making win. That ladder basically puts us in profitable territory for the rest of the season. That's how big that win was. We're set.
We could piss off the rest of the year at this point.
We're not going to, but we could. And no, that's not an empty threat. We just drop everything and say, "Hey, Karl, thank you. It's been 2 years since Kurt Kitayama won 250-1. I think we're bankrolling good, and I believe we're on the right track because don't let us get hot. When you let us get hot, we get on a torrid stretch and we win a shit ton of money. And the only people that know about it are the 7 or so viewers live and hundreds, dozens of you around the world that tune in eventually before lock on Thursday to win money on golf. That's our service to you.
Yeah, spread the word to your friends. Our tens of listeners, we need to grow it.
There are dozens of you in different, we don't want tariffs either. And so our Canadian fans don't pay more for our services. Like, inflation is real. The Canadian dollar is down. We need all the help we can get. You guys need to make some money. We're going to make some money anyway. You should tune in. Finally,
off a Canadian. I just saw somebody leave. Way to go, dude.
Yeah. Bye. So the Players Championship. A lot of players hate Pete Dye because he's a diabolical son of a bitch that just so happened to design all the best golf courses on the East Coast, seemingly. Pete Dye probably hates golf. Like when he was designing golf course, you could tell he was just snickering. Like, like what a diabolical son of a bitch that Pete Dye was, designing TPC Sawgrass and all these other golf courses that are famous on all over the world, really. But Sawgrass is the poster child. It's the stadium course. It was him and his wife designing a course in the middle of the Florida swamp around Jacksonville and built this masterpiece. It costs $1,000 to play there, but it's public.
Somebody's asking me about that the other day, and I'm like, oh, you can go play it.
It's $850 greens fee, and then you could expect another $200 or $300 for the caddy and tip.
Yeah, well, and not to mention what you're going to inevitably spend in the pro shop. So
yes,
it's a quick $1,500 day.
You're going to put a couple sleeves of Pro V1s in the pond around 17.
Yeah, you better stock up on ammunition. That's for sure.
Yeah, stock up on Kirkland signature golf balls for 17. Actually, there's water on 17 holes here, which Conor's going to get to. But a lot of players hate Pete Dye designs. They especially hate Sawgrass, and we haven't seen a lot of success from people in their first time at the Players, except for aliens like Ludwig Oberg, who finished in 8th place last year in his debut. But by and large, this golf course is rough. It's rough. It's yeah, this golf course is gonna be rewarding for the guys who are playing well, and it's gonna be an absolute bear for the ones that are coming in cold.
I'll toot my own horn though. I did play this in the sim. It's not warm enough here to play outside. I did play it in the sim last week in preparation for this, and I shot a 76 from the blue tees. So I'm feeling pretty good. Like I might try and get my tour card later this year. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, if you shoot 76, you probably finish higher than Max Homa, but still miss the cut.
76 for me is solid. I don't care.
Yeah. My best score ever, 74. So I'd be ecstatic with a 76 on any version of Sawgrass.
I think the only thing I was going to say is on your Pete Dye thing. It's just, it doesn't matter what Pete Dye course you're on. Those sight lines that he puts out in front of you, just like, they will mess with your head. And this course, even though it's like, we'll talk about it a little more in a minute, but even though it like is a lot wider and a lot more receptive on paper, it's like you get out there and everything looks tiny. And so it's usually a pretty good struggle around this place. So
yeah, master optics, just Pete Dye knew what he was doing. That dude is crazy, or was crazy. Rest in peace, Pete. It's crazy. Let's get into it with caddy notes. I want Conor's full poetic voice for this here, because TPC Sawgrass is special. All right, Conor, TPC Sawgrass, take it away.
I do love TPC Sawgrass. So Players Championship, TPC Sawgrass, Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. Par 72, yardage is about 72-75. Fairways are Bermuda, greens are Bermuda. Sawgrass sets up to be a really good all-around test throughout the entire bag. Plenty of trouble to be found here with water in play on almost every hole. I believe it's 17 of 18, as Bo mentioned previous. Off the tee game has proven to be one of the biggest differentiators here. It's so your strokes gained off the tee. Not only, I think a lot of times people think about that in terms of distance, it's a positional stat as well. So accuracy off the tee and your ability to gain strokes on your approach shots as a result. The fairways, like I mentioned, are wider than average by tour standards, but the accuracy and the sight lines are what really proved to be super challenging here. And most of those layups, not layups, but most of those positional shots off the tee are going to set you up for 200 or more coming in for a lot of these guys. So long approach is definitely at a premium. Scrambling and recovery stats are something that is really strongly correlated to success at TPC. Not only in the sense of scrambling around the greens, which I think a lot of people, that's what scrambling is. Scrambling is anything that you miss a fairway, it's your recovery from the rough, or in this case, the pine straw or the waste bunkers or
or the water.
So yeah, scrambling is a really, really correlated stat here. The rough isn't incredibly penal. Unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot of rough, especially on the left side of this course. There's a lot of immediate waste bunkers, immediate water. You find the pine straw quicker than you find the rough on a lot of these holes. So,
and trees everywhere. Trees are not big, not old. They're just in the fucking way.
Yeah, they're just there. So, we talked, as I mentioned, recovering from whatever trouble you might get into. It's elite through the entire bag, but there's also the mental game that's super important here. Bo and I both have already mentioned it. These the sight lines, the whole layouts, everything is gonna. It really takes an eye, and guys that don't traditionally do well on Pete Dye course or haven't played well at TPC Sawgrass tend to struggle here. Of course, history is kind of a bit of a sticky stat. Dye specialists are a bit of a sticky stat as well. So you're really, Bo mentioned it in the intro there. We don't see a whole lot of first timers rise up. There's maybe a couple that I'm looking at just based on pure skill, a la Oberg last year. So that's in a pretty roundabout nutshell. That's TPC Sawgrass. It's a really gorgeous course to watch. The 17th hole is one of the most iconic holes in golf.
Talk about pressure.
The home stretch, coming in 15, 16, 17, 18. I mean, it's just epic golf every year. So really excited to watch this one. You can have a birdie fest. Scottie, I think, shot 20 under last year. You can have the polar opposite, though. You can have a, low teens type of score that can settle in too. So you never really know what you're going to get at the players.
A few years ago, I remember betting on Cam Smith that year and winning, but it was like my butt was puckered the entire final round because the wind was up and nobody was even making birdies at all. And then he got to 17 and actually kind of pushed his approach shot where if you're ahead on the back nine on Sunday, you get to 17, you're not aiming anywhere near that back right hole location. You're aiming from the middle of the green, which is a big green. It's a big green. The 17th looks like it's tiny because it's a damn island and all the pressure in the world's on you because if you miss the green, you're in the water and you got to re-tee in the drop zone, which is even tougher than the full swing wedge that you get off the tee.
That drop zone sucks.
It's a half wedge shot controlling spin is the toughest shot on golf, and even for professionals, they don't like that shot. They want to hit a full swing so they can control everything, and they know their number. Like you got no chance if you're hitting your third shot from the drop zone. You're looking at double, triple, quadruple, 10. We've seen some gigantic scores on 17, and it's 140 yards. It's a damn pitching wedge for the whole field, and it just gets in their head. And that's the thing is Pete Dye, and especially at this golf course, is if you don't plan your way around and execute every single shot to set up your next one, you have no chance. And I like it because it's fair. If you're playing hot and you're playing great golf and you're in position, you can very well go low here. We've seen guys shoot low 60s when they're just clicking. And then on the other end of the spectrum is if you're just not hitting, you're not striking the ball well, you're out of position, you can very easily shoot over 80 here. Unlike Conor. Conor's going to break 80 here every time.
Every time from the blue tees. The thing about kind of getting a hot hand here is I think it's a course that really demands that you come in with a game plan, you stick to your game plan, you listen to your caddy.
Preparation.
And really, like, I think where guys get into trouble here more often than not is when they start trying to do too much. Like,
you get too aggressive here and yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, stick to your game plan. Even if you get a little errant, like, you stick to the game plan. And I think that's one of the hardest things. We talk about Rory McIlroy a couple of times over the last couple of weeks. I mean, really good example of somebody that, like, when they're able to show restraint and stick to the plan, amazing. Pebble Beach, prime example.
Yeah, that's a course that didn't fit his eye, and he planned his way around, and that's how you beat Pebble Beach. That's how you beat TPC Sawgrass. Is you have a game plan and you stick to it and you execute it. This golf course is not going to be kind to those guys that think they're going to bomb and gouge their way through because this golf course is short, it's tight, it's going to make you hate yourself if you hit a bad shot because the big numbers are lurking around every corner, but so are the birdies. This is the ultimate test of how are you doing? How is your game right now?
Couldn't have said it better myself coming in on that. For any of our people that do build models at all, I know Bo and I have some similar stats. I'll quick share what we built on this week. I know we don't always do a good job of doing that, but for me, shots gained tee to green, specifically on dye specialty courses, as well as the course history tied to TPC Sawgrass specifically. So that's just an overall stat getting you from tee to green, just kind of married up to what the course type is this week. Shots gained approach, like it's in our model almost every week. We did have putting in there. Scrambling, like I mentioned, is highly correlated. Par 5 scoring, approach from 200 plus. And then I actually found that 3-putt avoidance was a pretty strongly correlated stat as well. So
these greens are tricky.
And you can get in trouble on the greens here, no problem. They're going to be very fast. So
better than most.
Really, it's an accuracy game. Be strong through the whole bag, and it doesn't hurt if you've got good experience, good course knowledge. So that definitely will tip the scales a little bit if you're that guy.
All right, what do you say we bet on some golf, Connor?
I think I'm ready. Let's win.
If we won last week and the week before, that's a winning streak. It has happened before.
You're gonna. How about we? Of these, you're gonna.
if we hit 3 weeks in a row, you're not going to be able to talk to any of us. We're not going to fit through doorways. It's going to be insufferable.
Yeah, like you are most weeks.
Yes. All right, par for the course. All right, let's twirl some clubs, bet on some golf. Two weeks in a row twirling those clubs. There's a couple of really good looking swings. I love every time we show both swings. Your swing's so compact and consistent. Mine's just long and languid and completely inconsistent. It looks good, but sometimes where the ball goes doesn't look good.
Are you talking about something else?
Sure.
My sex life.
All right. So the Players' Championship, even though course history is correlative here, there's never been a back-to-back winner of this tournament except for one guy. The guy who's won the last 2 years, looking for a three-peat. Nobody's won back-to-back until Scottie Scheffler. He's coming in plus 400 or thereabouts again. Very short odds. Well-deserved. I am open to betting live Scottie. I held off last week because he was kind of just outside the range where I thought he could come back with the way he was playing. So I didn't do the live bet. I'm glad I didn't because he never really got close. He was in the neighborhood. He was still in the top 20. So it's still Scottie business as usual. This golf course really rewards Scottie's type of play. He's accurate off the tee. He's the best iron player pretty much that I've seen since Tiger. It's like the dude is so accurate. He knows how to hit the right spots on the green, so he's not short-sighted or on the wrong level of the green. He's extremely good at target golf. This is the target golf course, but he's not the only one that has that skill set. And other than his 2 wins here, hasn't done all that well. The Players...
That approach game is concerning. You know, at API...
In the ranges, yes. Especially with his recent form.
And the putter is even more concerning. I mean, you can't give back 6 strokes putting. That's it. And the fact that he actually last week almost lost strokes on approach, that's
not like him.
It's just not great. And
it doesn't play here at all.
No. And you and I kind of alluded to it a couple of weeks ago with Scottie, where it's just like something just seems off with him. Like it's Scottie Scheffler. I mean, he can come out and definitely still win this tournament 100%, but like,
I just think that our expectations got a little bit inflated with last year's success. I mean, 7 wins and an Olympic gold medal. That hadn't been done since Vijay Singh in 2006. That's not something we're going to see from anybody for a while.
Yeah, see, I'm with Royal. Like, I just kind of wonder if there is something lingering there. Like, I mean, I know what you're saying.
Maybe psychologically. I don't think physically there's anything wrong with him.
I think the tough thing with Scottie is I think we all got to remember he's not BJ Singh. He's not Tiger Woods. You know what I'm saying? Like
No.
he had a very
He doesn't have that edge. Like those two guys, I've seen both of them play in person, and you could cut the tension in the air because of their competitive edge. You can cut it with a knife. I was watching a Friday round of the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, and Tiger Woods was so locked in that you could scream in his ear and he wouldn't even move. And then VJ Singh was so locked in, and he was grumpy when he played. VJ Singh, if you could talk to him and he would reply, but he wasn't going to be nice to you. Like even if you told him it was a nice putt, he was just going to grunt at you. Like, he was locked in. Like these guys were fiery, and even though Scottie has a little bit of an edge to him, he doesn't have that. He doesn't have that killer instinct. And we're finding that these other golfers around him, they're not that much worse than him. They can go out there and beat him any given week, and it goes pretty deep. The PGA Tour has never been deeper and stronger than it is now, despite losing a bunch of talent to live. We're getting some young guns coming in here now. Your Obergs, your Vilips, all these guys that are prodigies growing up in the junior ranks. They're the reason why betting Scottie Scheffler at plus 400, I could go without.
Yeah, I don't hate your live bet philosophy with Scottie. I know you've done well with it, and
it's a vibes thing. It's a vibes thing. I really do watch how they're playing at that given time, and if it makes sense, like I think, oh yeah, let's get some putts to roll in, and we can look at it again. But this week, it's all about Xander and JT. Xander Schauffele plus 1,800. I think his Thursday round, his first competitive round since the century, happened to be in windy conditions at Bay Hill. That's what I told you last week. I was like, I'm concerned that he's going to be rusty, and this is not the place to start your season if you're playing your first real meaningful round and it's windy at Bay Hill. That's just too much uphill, because he turned around and made the cut with a stellar round on Friday. And that's what leads me to bet him this week with complete confidence, because Xander Schauffele is exactly the type of golfer I want at TPC Sawgrass. The best short iron player, best short game, clutch putter. He's great off the tee. Like, this guy has no weaknesses. Like, Scottie Scheffler might be the best in the world at short irons and chipping, but he's also not playing that well right now, and he's got a couple real holes in his game. Xander Schauffele doesn't have those holes, and he's going to be playing target practice out there. He's a very, very smart golfer. This is one of the smartest golfers in the world, and plus 1,800. Thank you for shooting that balloon round on Thursday last week at Bay Hill, because that inflated things to a wonderful level where we're getting what I consider to be my favorite to win this tournament at incredible odds.
Yeah, and so I loved Xander last week. I think Xander had a really piss poor around the green week. I mean, he lost almost 6 strokes there.
Unlike him.
Very unlike him. I didn't have the same sentiment you did going in. Like, I thought he was fine. I watched him swing plenty beforehand. And frankly, I don't even know. I know he said rust. I don't think it was rust, man. Thursday was just a tough show for everybody. Like, it wasn't exactly like anybody set the world on fire.
It was brutal.
So I'm in lockstep with you. I love Xander again this week. I mean, a spoiler alert for the rest of the season, I'm going to love Xander pretty much every week. And frankly, if it's Xander versus Scottie, you can just dial it up now. I'm probably voting Xander. I think Xander has a more complete game, a more consistent game. Scottie is very streaky. Scottie was very streaky last year. He just had a very hot hand for the right time.
For 2 months straight.
Yeah, I mean, but then he falls off. You know, he has these bad putting weeks. He has these bad around.
He goes and gets arrested.
Yeah. So I know it's hard to talk shit about Scottie given the season.
I don't see any Xander Schauffele mugshots out there.
But you got to look at the complete package, and that's what we talked about a little bit last week. Is when you look at Xander Schauffele, I think in terms of well-rounded and consistent, it's really hard to dethrone Xander right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're right smack dab in the middle of a very tough stretch in the Florida swing with Bay Hill, Sawgrass. Next week's the Valspar at Copperhead. This is going to be we're talking about like whoever's teeing it up at these 3 golf courses in Florida, they're going to be challenged, and the cream really rises to the top at Sawgrass. You don't see a lot of long shot winners here unless they just completely go bonkers and get hot. Xander Schauffele is the class of this field, in my opinion, and not far behind him is a guy that we're rooting for to take over this season. Renaissance year 2025 for Justin Thomas. Roll Tide. The Alabama alum is another Bermuda specialist. He looked outstanding the last couple of times out there. This guy has got it dialed in. All of the worries that we had about his game for the last 2 years seem to be kind of washing away. He's playing outstanding golf, and he has course history to die for at TPC Sawgrass. He won here in 2021. He's got 3 top 10s since then. Am I missing something? Why is Justin Thomas 20-1 here?
Love JT here. And honestly, one of the biggest knocks we always throw at Justin Thomas is that left miss. And we thought it was going to give him fits last week. Didn't. As a matter of fact, he gained almost 3 strokes off the tee last week.
He was striping the ball.
And, it is a concern again at this course. I already touched on it. There's a lot of trouble left. But the way he's hitting the ball off the tee right now, over his last 3 starts, he's averaging 3.2 strokes gained off the tee. So that driver is really proving to have been figured out. Mm-hmm. And then,
that's his only bugaboo because everything else is green, green, green.
Well, what's wild is if you look at API, he lost 5 strokes putting, right? And I think a lot of people had a tough time putting last week. But, JT hasn't been lights out with the putter, but he definitely ain't losing 5 strokes week on week. So that bounces back. The rest of the stats look golden. I love JT here. I think that this is prime time.
In my model, which I heavily filter for playing conditions, he's 6th on strokes gained par 4. He's 5th on approach, 3rd in ball striking, 6th in birdies or better gained, 7th on the par 4 distance that's going to be the most correlative, 450 to 500, and 28th in fairways gained. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong guy. 23rd in strokes gained par 5. Off the tee is kind of the one miss, like 116th in fairways gained. These fairways are wide. As long as you can put it in the right spot, which he's done very well over the course of his career at Sawgrass, is everywhere else we're looking at top 10 in every stat that we're looking at.
Yeah, I will say you touched on history at Sawgrass, and I know that's a little sticky. JT's history here is not fantastic, which is a little bit concerning. But
his recent history is.
I think with JT, like what I was going to say is that he's so in 24 he had a cut, in 23 it was a T60, in 22 it was a T33. Now he won here in 2021, so I think we're getting a more vintage Justin Thomas at this point. So like that recent history, especially at this course, I think I'm willing to ignore a little bit because I'm seeing shades of vintage JT.
He seems dialed in to me, and that's why I'm very confident in him.
So,
all right, you got to throw out your. I think Tommy Fleetwood can win this tournament, and I'm gonna bet him top 10 and cash my 2-1. And you're gonna go. Well, what happened last week? We both lost the top 10 bet because Tommy Fleetwood did not win again.
So I am going to bet Tommy Fleetwood outright. And
boo! Outright? So, are you betting him outright?
I am betting him outright.
Come on, man. Keep your money.
I'm telling you.
You have a young child at home.
I'm telling you.
You're betting outrights on Tommy Fleetwood. How many times has that paid off for you?
None, obviously.
Exactly.
Such a dick. Look, you can't deny that Tommy Fleetwood is playing some really high-level, consistent golf. Yeah. He hasn't won yet. I think it's coming. I
have never doubted that Tommy Fleetwood's a quality golfer and probably top 15 in the world overall. He just never gets past number 2 or number 5 or number 10. He's always in that hunt. The dude just doesn't have ice water in his veins. He doesn't have that killer instinct. He doesn't have that game that says, oh, Tommy Fleetwood's just going to dominate this tournament. It's never happened. He's never won a close one. He's never won a good one where he was just on fire. Like for as good as he is when I watch him, what's missing? What is going to take for him to get over the hump? I don't think it's at Sawgrass, and I don't think it's in a field this strong.
I don't see Tommy the same way you do. Like, he hasn't gotten over the hump and he hasn't won, but I don't think he doesn't have the killer instinct. And I genuinely believe that one of these weeks, Tommy's going to come out and he's going to put together 4 rounds and he's going to win. And based on how well he's playing week in, week out, he's right there, man. It's just one. It's a lot like Rory last year, right? We talked about it almost every time.
I've seen Rory win a lot of times, though.
I understand,
28 times.
But what was our thing with Rory last year? If Rory could just
couldn't hit a wedge,
four rounds solid.
If Rory could hit a wedge approach shot, we'd be winning every week.
It's just one of these things, man, that you're gonna eat your words on Fleetwood one of these weeks, and I'm gonna
one of these weeks. Count how many gray hairs I have in my beard today. And I guarantee there's going to be a lot more when he finally does pay off.
The people are with me, man. Steve,
I know they are. Royals right here saying he's due. Well, nobody has ever been more due than Tommy Fleetwood in the history of ever.
I saw Alex's question. Not that Spieth is relevant this week, but do we think that it's a make or break year for Spieth? I don't know if I'd say it's a make or break year for Spieth.
No, he's young. It's not make or break, but we want to see him at least qualify for some of these elevated tournaments. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I think last time out there were some signs that he's probably close to putting it back together. So I'm excited for the resurgence of Jordan. I think it's going to feel a lot like the resurgence we're seeing with JT. I don't feel like Spieth is quite there. I think being healthy helps a lot. So hopefully
he still needs a map to find a fairway. Like, the dude off the tee is so bad. Like, he's a decent approach player. He's got the best short game recovery game I've ever seen. Like, best bunker player I've ever seen in my entire life. And he's still got that. He's still a decent putter. It's just if you're constantly missing fairways on the PGA Tour, it's going to catch up to you. And that's what's happening with Jordan Spieth. Is if you're playing in trouble on your second shot, you're not going to win anything on the PGA Tour. The guys that are winning are in the fairway, or they're in the first cut of rough where they can be aggressive.
Well, there was a time where you didn't have to be as well-rounded, as accurate, as consistent.
These days, you absolutely have to be.
Yeah, especially these young guns. These young guns don't miss fairways; they don't miss greens,
and they absolutely launch it down there.
Yeah, so I think Spieth can get back to kind of fighting standards. I think Spieth can make a comeback to the level I think JT can? No, but I think Spieth can start to get his name back up on the leaderboard a little bit.
All right, going down the board, you look like you have a pretty good pick, I think. I'm not in love with the number because I haven't seen a lot of Hideki Matsuyama playing well this year. He's still so good though, and he's got decent success here. Really,
here.
Yeah, really, really good. Like, he's won here before, of course. Hideki at 30-1 is either really good or really bad. I can't decide. I don't hate the pick though, because Hideki any week could go out there and light a place on fire. We've seen him do it at tougher golf courses. Riviera comes to mind last year, where he shot 62 and was like, meh. Like, really, dude? You just completely obliterated one of the toughest golf courses in the country.
Best scrambler on tour right now, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hideki is a great pick at 30-1. I might have to take a closer look at that.
Yeah, for anybody who wants to know, T6, T5, T8, and 3 out of his 4 last starts here. Alex just pulled that up, and that's also a stat that I was looking at too. Hideki really, really, really competes here every single time he tees it up. And the other thing that enables him to do that is he's number 1 in this field and scrambling it around the green. Which is strange considering he's a very average putter. So he's really given himself a lot of advantage with the scrambling prowess, which I think comes in handy here. So
yeah, he's a 6th in my model, so I do need to put a little bit more emphasis on him, especially in DFS, because I don't know how many more guys I can add to my very wide painting brush with my betting cart this week. I got a lot of guys.
We don't talk a lot of DFS, but I'm over investing, and my player pool is huge.
Yeah, it's a wide paintbrush type of week. It's a big field. It's a big tournament with a lot of guys that look good coming in. Hideki's only bugaboo on my model was fairways gained, but so is JT. JT's in the same boat as him. Yeah, they're right next to each other. Can't fault you for doing that at 30-1. My next guy was a vicious lip out from forcing a playoff last year with Scottie Scheffler at the Players. Wyndham Clark, 55-1 for a guy who was one shot away from winning this thing last year. And if not for Scottie Scheffler, this guy had like 3 or 4 wins last year in big tournaments like this one. Wyndham Clark 55-1 seems weird because the dude's playing good golf. Like he's what we want at this golf course. He's not the best approach player, but he's going to be hitting a lot of irons off these tees because of the forced layups. He's a good long iron approach player and one of the best short games in the world. Outstanding putter, great scrambler, and the dude makes birdies in bunches. When you need him to make birdies, if we get good scoring conditions here this week, you can bet your ass that Wyndham Clark will be in contention because nobody makes birdies like Wyndham Clark.
Yeah, I mean, you and I don't often see eye to eye on Wyndham Clark. I statistically, he's not doing super hot in mine. I'm with you. Wyndham Clark definitely can light this place up. I don't hate the bet. I love the number more than I love the guy. I think in where at 55, I mean, it feels like he should be down in that Tommy Fleetwood range, like 28.
Oh yeah. It's way mispriced.
So yeah, I don't hate that, but at that price, and we can't play them all. I'm going to keep riding my guy Daniel Berger, who rated out second in my model, Florida guy.
North Florida guy.
Amazing golf right now. He's number 3 in this field and a strokes gained off the tee. He's number
1 in mine.
He's number 7 in scrambling. He's number 12 in bogey avoidance. He's in the top 20 in strokes gained around the green. He's great from that 200 plus yard range. And the other things I love about him is, I mean, we talked about it a little bit last week. Like Berger's just showing this ability to grind it out and get it done and find ways to
talent. So much talent. We forgot what he was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
Love Berger at 60-1. I've been betting him the last 3-4 weeks. Like I'm not going to stop now. Berger, that's a hell of a value at 60-1 with how he's playing.
Well, and I was looking at him and Clark next to each other on the odds board, and I was like, I'm betting both of them. That's why I'm not going to miss out because Berger's playing great. Wyndham Clark's playing great. Played great last year at this tournament. Berger's from the damn area. 60-1 for a guy that's playing hot. Like you can get Wyndham Clark at 60, you can get Berger at 65, 70 on some books. I'm all in on both of them. 60-1 for Berger is crazy. He's number 9 in my model, number 1 off the tee, number 4 in fairways gained, number 8 in ball striking. This dude's just he's money off the tee. He's always in position, and when he gets hot putting, he's dangerous. And I have Wyndham Clark up at 4th in my model, and the main difference is scrambling. Clark is 3rd, where Berger is 53rd. So that's the one difference I see, but I'm betting on both of them. I have a full-on ladder on Wyndham Clark, and I'm betting outright on Berger. So I'm rooting for both of you.
So speaking of hot, and another reason I'm foregoing Wyndham here is I'm all in on Michael Kim. Rates out number 1 in my model. The hottest golfer on the planet right now, and I don't think you can really debate it.
No,
he is just on absolute fire. 65-1. He's immaculate at scrambling, immaculate at avoiding big numbers. Leads this field in both. I filtered out to do a Pete Dye courses and Florida swing courses combined. Overall tee to green, Michael Kim is number 3 in this field over the last 24 rounds. He's just playing unreal golf. His course history here is dog shit. I mean, we'll just call it what it is. Yeah, but the reality is that the Michael Kim we're getting in 2025 is not the Michael Kim of
this guy's having an actual breakout season. Like since the waste management, he's top 5 in every category.
It's unreal. So 65-1, Michael Kim. I'm going to keep riding it, man. We've been there every week. No reason to stop now.
7 consecutive top 20 finishes for Michael Kim.
That's wild, isn't it?
That's impressive.
And what did he finish last week? 4th?
Yep.
Yeah, 4th at API, 2nd at Waste Management, 6th at the Cognizant, 13 in Mexico, 13 at Genesis. Like these aren't the same type of fields. API is close, but I mean this guy's playing great. Good.
He's hot. You gotta ride the hot hand. And was he at 65-1? Come on now.
Yep, lock that one in.
All right. Long shots. I have one that's less than 100-1. I just feel like his short game is good enough to hang around here if he can find fairways. He's been scuffling lately, but Sahith Theegala's got all the talent in the world. He's got the scrambling game to pull it off. This is not a stat play. This is like the number's stupid, and he's too good for that 90-1 number. So call me crazy, but I'm going to take a shot on Sahith Theegala this week at 90-1. And then I'm going to go with your guy, that guy that I absolutely hate betting. But I mean, as far as ball strikers go,
I saw this and I was like, what the hell?
of course, it's a week where you're not going to agree with me on Lucas Glover at 120-1. But I guess both of those guys, Theegala and Glover. Theegala for his off the tee terribleness, and Glover with his non-existent putting stroke, which has been better this year. Those are where I'm taking some decent shots at, and then I'm going to throw a little bit on the red hot Joel Damon, especially on golf courses of this length. And my deep shot, which I know you will endorse because he's another young gun that we've been talking about for a year and a half now. And he's kind of fallen back behind some of the other young guns that have won in recent memory. But Patrick Fishburne at 300-1, that's a really good golfer that we're going to be saying his name a lot over the next few years. And people forget about him because he didn't just win. He didn't just go chasing a leaderboard like Karl Vilips or like any of the other guys that we've talked about. What do you think about any of my long shots? I know you don't agree with any of them, but based on the show sheet, you're going with one of the guys that I bet last week. And of course, Vilips is going to be a lock for just squeezing every bit of juice out of this lemon while he's got good odds.
I do want to talk about Vilips because I want to just reiterate that he's not a flash in the pan, but to touch on Sahith, I think of what you just said. Sahith to me feels like the highest upside.
Yes.
Do I think Joel Damon wins this tournament? No. Do I think Joel Damon can get a top 20?
Yes.
Probably. Sahith Theegala is just a player that if he is hot and he just is in the zone, he can come out here and tear this place apart. It's absolutely a possibility. So I do love the number on Sahith at 110. As far as Glover goes, so you normally bring me back down to earth with this with Glover. So I'll do the same for you. My biggest thing with Glover is just he's horrible. He's not putting good enough to play like at this level. Like he's deep in the 3-putt avoidance. Like he's not good. He's making a handful here and there, but it's not. Again, do I think maybe a top 20 bet is worthwhile on Glover? Yes. Do I think Glover can win outright? I really don't. Like if I were to pick a long shot that you just brought up, it'd be Sahith.
Oh yeah.
I love Fishburne. I love Fishburne 300-1. For me, it's Denny McCarthy. We know how good Denny can get with the irons. We know how good Denny can get with the putter. I won't belabor it. Like Denny is just really hit and miss. So like at 80-1, he's a
awful off the tee, completely terrible off the tee.
He's a guy, though, a lot like Sahith, that if he just keeps it in play, chugs along down the field, like he can definitely make a run at winning. Like he's not a super deep shot. With Karl Vilips, what I thought was really interesting is we talk a lot about these new guys being like bombers, right? They just crush the ball off the tee. What's crazy is Vilips in his success has been predominantly focused around all approach metrics. He's actually like spiking to be in the top 20 in approach on the PGA right now, which is saying a lot for a guy who doesn't have a whole lot of tournament experience. So I think if you take what he did last week, where he gained almost 17 strokes to the field, you look at how he did it, which was predominantly through approach and around the green. It makes a lot of sense that he could do really well here. So I love Vilips again this week at 170-1. I know that we talked about first timers don't tend to have a lot of success here. I truly believe that this guy is in that Oberg realm where he's almost course proof. We haven't seen him tee it up enough to validate that. But if you watch the guy play, he is an amazing talent.
Yep, he sure is. And he made us richer. So we really like that. I was looking at the model that I ran before I filtered it, and Vilips is very high on it. And of course, when you filter it, it doesn't have any qualifying rounds, so he just goes to the kind of the bottom. But
yeah, it's hard to model him this week. And then we got Frankie Sapin, who I'm just going to continue to throw random darts at 600 to 1. So
yeah, the dude can put his brains out.
Up the short approach guy, around the green guy, good putter. 600 to 1. I've done dumber shit with $5.
I certainly have. That's $3,000 if he just somehow pulls it together.
Could happen. You never know.
You can take that. You can buy me another bottle of Woodford for that.
If I hit Frankie Sapin this week at 600 to 1, I'll buy you more than a bottle of Woodford.
Yes. All right. Hey, you got yourself any weird bets? You got any first round leader bets you want to throw out there? I got Mike. We've been over both of our cards. Yeah, Xander and JT are unanimous. Michael, Kim, and Tommy and Hideki are getting to be unanimous because I was on the fence about them, and now you've talked me into them. Vilips, of course, is going to be a dart throw no matter what, because now that he's made me money, I'm just going to throw a few bucks on him every week because he's awesome. We love you, Karl. Thank you for all the money. And I don't have a really good read on the first round leader, so I'm not going to bet it.
No, and
it's really a crapshoot here. Really a crapshoot.
Yeah, my prop bets are strictly and they're really conservative. I've got Fleetwood top 10 for plus 240. I've got Berger top 5 and top 10. Plus the top 5 is plus 900, top 10 is plus 450. And then I've got Vilips to top 10. This one's actually a really nice number, I think, given how damn good this guy is. Top 10 is plus 1100. So,
ooh, yeah.
If you believe in us and you believe in Vilips, I'd recommend betting the ladder on Vilips. And it's a low investment because his outright is
huge payout.
So, yeah, real wedge guy. He's a real wedge guy.
It really is. It's awesome. All right, we got the hat ready.
We got the hat ready.
Come on, low number, no whammies. 43, not too shabby. That might be a decent pick. He's got some merit. You go with yours first.
I don't know how to feel about this one. This is the most conflicted I've been about the hat pick. I didn't even know this guy was in the field. Sungjae Im? Is Sungjae Im playing this week?
I have to double check that. Sungjae. He's got decent course history here, but I don't know if he's here. Sungjae Im. Yep, 50 to 1.
Well, that's the hat pick on mine.
Yeah, traditionally a good pick at Sawgrass, but this year he's playing awful golf.
I might have to look into that one a little bit. That's that went right under the radar. He's right in the middle of the pack statistically for me. Interesting.
Yeah. And my number 43 is a guy who's looked okay this year. Decent skill set for Sawgrass. I don't know if he has the firepower to do anything about it, but Ben Griffin. Interesting, right?
Hey, the hat. I think the hat's pissed off now. I think the hat's like, yo, I'm making good picks.
Talking shit. Yeah, so Ben Griffin's in my model, third in strokes gained par 5. So come on, Ben, you got to kill those par 5s this week.
Ben can get hot too. That approach can get real hot.
He wears the shades the whole round now. He doesn't take his shades off.
Hey, thanks for coming out, Alex. Well, hopefully we'll see you again next week.
A very knowledgeable listener. We like those.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Come with your research next time, guys, especially you Canadians.
Yeah, you lowlifes just leeching off me and Bo. Unbelievable.
Winning money with us. We love all of you.
The show.
We love you. All right, you ready to get out of here? What's the winning score going to be?
I actually think it's going to get up there. I'm going to say 18.
Yeah, I say it's also going to be 18 because there's rain today and rain tomorrow, so it's going to be a little softer the first round.
I got kind of a shocker we didn't talk about though, who I think might win.
Okay.
I think Rory might win at 18.
Nah.
He's won here before.
Yeah, it's been a while, but yes, he has. I think Xander's going to win. Xander at 18.
I love the Xander pick. Yeah, we just I don't always bring up Rory every week, so I think he's got.
He's had to wedge him in there.
It could happen.
He's not a real wedge guy, though.
Not a real wedge guy.
All right. Join us next week for the Valspar Championship. We're going to be painting up some more winning picks. Hopefully, we'll be happy about a three-peat outright winner. And that's at the Copperhead course at Innisbrook. Really tough golf course again. We might not get the same
fun with that one.
Yeah, we won't get the same strength of field because a lot of guys are going to take the week off, but it's going to be a tough challenge. But we've had success at the Valspar before, so we'll keep it going. Thank you again. Join us, subscribe, like, jingle the bell. You know the drill. Conor, have a good night.